if my interpretation is correct based on my own reading as a layperson, the inverted narcissist or the covert narcissist is a relatively recent discovery in the field. Is that right? And can you describe what, because I find these people, I know them in my own life, and they go around undetected and it drives me nuts. So I want to bring the covert narcissist to the fore. Please enlighten us.
Yeah, that's a very risky thing to do, to bring a covert narcissist to the floor. But we'll see how to manage the situation. So first of all, the current thinking, the mainstream thinking currently, is that all narcissists go through overt and covert phases. So all narcissists are sometimes in your face, defiant, reckless, go-getters, arrogant, haughty, disempathic, entitled, obnoxious. I don't want to continue the list. So that's the overt narcissist.
Right.
But even overt narcissists go through covert phases of covert narcissism, and vice versa. So we no longer, as we used to, we no longer make a distinction between pure types. Like the overt is never covert and the covert is never overt.
Got it.
That used to be the thinking until about 10, 15 years ago. And unfortunately, it still prevails online because everyone online is like 15 years back.
Yep.
But today we don't see it that way. Now, the covert narcissist is simply someone whose capacity to secure attention, narcissistic supply, is diminished constitutionally because, for example, he's not very intelligent or not very handsome or not very good looking or whatever. Doesn't
charismatic,
have
any of those
skills. Yeah. Not talented, doesn't have the skills or whatever. So constitutionally unable to obtain narcissistic supply, or has other mental health issues. For example, he's passive aggressive, or he's seething with envy and resentment, or what have you. And so some narcissists would spend most of their lives, the majority of their lives, being in a covert state. So maybe that's what we could call a covert narcissist. Okay?
So what are the manifestations of covert narcissism?
Now we have three types of covert narcissists. One of them is a type that I was the first to describe. It's the inverted narcissist. And that's a narcissist who derives her narcissistic supply, her attention. I'm saying her because majority of inverted narcissists are women.
Fascinating.
She derives her narcissistic supply, her sense of self-worth, her self-confidence, self-esteem, by teaming up with a dominant, in-your-face, overt narcissist. That reminds me that in Germany in the 19th century, if you were married to a medical doctor, they called you Frau Doktor. Even if you didn't have 1 year of education, you were still Frau Doktor. So the inverted narcissist is a Frau Doktor.
Oh my God, I love this, Frau Doctor.
Frau
We're
Doktor.
putting that in the lexicon at the nerve. Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, by teaming up with the narcissist, she is vicariously enjoying the narcissist exposure, the attention he's getting, the admiration and adulation that he's subject to, and so on, vicariously. I'm the narcissist's wife, this kind of thing. The second type is known as the prosocial or communal narcissist. That's by far the most dangerous type. I would even say more dangerous than the malignant narcissist.
Do tell.
Because the prosocial narcissist is a communal narcissist, as the name implies, pretends to be empathic, loving, charitable, compassionate, pretends to be a do-gooder who is hell-bent on improving the lot of other people. So he would likely be a social activist, or he would volunteer for an NGO in the furthest corners of Africa, or he would, and it's all done ostentatiously. It's all for public consumption. It's all very visible on the surface. It's all conspicuous. And so it's all public facing and communicable. And this is the prosocial communal narcissist. The problem with these people is that they are believable. And we have something called the rate-based fallacy. Never mind that. It's the fact that people believe 90 to 95% of what they are told without fact-checking, verifying, or even exercising minimal critical thinking. So when a narcissist like that comes and tells you, listen, I love humanity, I have empathy for all my fellow beings, I'm engaged all my life, I've sacrificed my well-being and my wealth and my capacity and talents and skills, I've put all of them, harnessed all of them to help humanity. And you would, vast majority of people would believe this kind of person. And then they enter a shared fantasy. And then they're easily manipulable. So these kind of people end up being con artists or swindlers, or they end up abusing their positions as for example, members of the clergy. Or they end up raising humongous sums of money and then, taking off to Barbados or wherever these kind of people run away nowadays, and so on and so forth. It ends badly. All the gurus, all the public intellectuals, all the charitable figures, all the Mother Teresas of the world, and the overwhelming vast majority of them, in all likelihood, are pro-social communal narcissists. How do I know that? Because they're famous.
So fascinating, Sam, because this reminds me of Christopher Hitchens writing an expose of Mother Teresa for Vanity Fair. And God, did he catch a ton of crap for that. But he was right. He was right to be looking under that hood. And I want to ask you about, so we're talking about in the macro, the sort of most extreme examples who, propel themselves onto the global stage. But in the micro, in your own community or your own network of friends or family, I find these people manifest as the following. They're just so generous. They're just so giving. They advertise what is close to a kind of martyrdom. They'll put others before themselves any day of the week, but they want you to see it. You don't give a gift behind a closed door. You don't do something generous for someone without somehow blaring it out on social media, which, by the way, I think the combination of social media and reality television has embedded narcissism and this kind of narcissism in the culture to the point where it's becoming normalized so as to be undetectable.
Yeah. The communal prosocial narcissist is a precursor, the father, if you wish, of influencers. It's a kind of influencer. But the influencers are not hiding their commercial affiliations and that they're benefiting from all this. And so in this sense, they're honest and take it or leave it situation.
Right.
The prosocial communal narcissist plays on victimhood. It's,
yes.
As you mentioned, it's self-sacrificial. I'm the sacrificial lamb, and I'm doing this for you, and I'm paying a horrendous personal price for doing this, but I'm still doing this. Why? Because I'm a good person. I'm essentially a good person. That's my quiddity, my goodness, And so these are very dangerous people. And the third type of covert narcissist is someone who is, as I said, seething with envy and resentment, is highly grandiose, but believes himself to be discriminated against, overlooked, develops some kind of personal conspiracy theory where people are envious of him, and they have a malign intent, and they're holding him back or taking him down or conspiring against him or something. So it's someone who is immersed in a narrative, a seething narrative, a narrative, festering narrative of, look at me, I'm being victimized by everyone, by the entire world because of my superiority. I am supremely intelligent, and that's why my academic supervisors hate me or my teachers hate me. I am amazingly skilled and talented, and that's why my boss never gives me a promotion. My colleagues envy me, and that's why they are undermining my work. And it's always not my fault. This is known as alloplastic defense. So this type of covert narcissist blames the world, institutions, colleagues, neighbors, family members, spouses, children, his dog, you name it, blames the world for any defeat, any mishap, any error, any mistake, any miscalculation, any wrong decision, any choice that has panned out badly, and so on. So this is the third type, the most common type, actually, of covert.
Really?
Yeah, that's the most common type.
Why do you say, Sam, let's say even in a pro-social context that's in the micro, right? So just someone in your own community, in your field of vision, that those are the most dangerous kinds of narcissist. What is the worst outcome that could happen?
You don't see them coming. You don't see them coming. The malignant narcissist is a caricature. The malignant narcissist is a narcissist. He's also a psychopath, and he's also a sadist. And you see him coming from miles away. And you can protect yourself, you can defend it, protect yourself.
Interesting.
If you are self-destructive, that's your ideal partner. And many self-destructive people team up with narcissists and psychopaths and malignant narcissists because this guarantees their own demise. It's a safe and certain way to end essentially your productive life, if not your physical life. So, but you see them coming. You can, you don't see the prosocial or communal narcissist coming. You don't see them coming. The covert narcissist is, by definition, covert. It's very difficult.
Sorry, go on.
We have studies where we have exposed people to photographs and email messages of narcissists. And people were able to spot overt narcissists. They had what we call the uncanny valley reaction. They became highly uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. They were able to spot overt narcissists within 3 to 30 seconds. They were exposed to a video or a photograph or an email, and within 3 to 30 seconds, they have the majority of people have correctly identified others who have been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Mm-hmm. Overt narcissism triggers something in you, makes you feel uncomfortable. Something is off-key, something is half-baked, something is wrongly put together. We call it the uncanny valley reaction. Covert narcissists don't trigger this in you. They are really under the radar. It's very, very difficult to spot them. And I would even say that they're not as aware of their actions as overt narcissists are. Really? So it's not that they're hiding anything from you. There isn't even, the overt narcissist knows exactly what they're doing. Yep. He knows he's hurting you. He's going to invent some kind of story to justify himself and everything, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Very often the covert narcissist is self-deceiving, extremely self-deceiving. We say that the overt narcissist is self-enhancing, whereas the covert narcissist is self-deceiving. The covert narcissist just wants to feel at peace, whereas the overt narcissist wants to feel superior. So with the overt, it's about superiority. With the covert, it's about reducing anxiety. It's an anxiolytic state, an attempt to reduce anxiety. Anxiolytic state. Yeah. So it's really, really, really pernicious, insidious. And when the covert narcissist finds a way to obtain supply by pretending to be a good person and by deceiving not only himself, but millions of others, you can imagine the damage. I find that these people also are never given, rarely if ever given, to expressing what I would consider a healthy degree of anger. It seems that their investiture is in their public facing role. They are even keeled. They can take anything. Nothing is a big deal. Everything is cool, because to be angry would somehow be, I don't know. Compromise their image. Yeah. Well, you're talking about covert narcissism. Yeah, exactly. That's very true, because as I mentioned earlier, they're passive aggressive. Passive aggression is when you do not express anger overtly, when you do not verbalize it, when you do not communicate it, when you're not attempting to influence the behavior of other people by telling them, I'm angry at you. There's no honesty. Right. Covert narcissism is a dishonest condition. And what the covert narcissist does instead, he is being passive aggressive. He sabotages you. He undermines you. He poisons your mind with a incremental kind of. So while the overt narcissist is highly overt, so there's narcissistic rage. When the overt narcissist is angry at you, it becomes disproportional and crazy making, and it's a form of acting out, and we call it narcissistic rage. It's unique to narcissists. It's not exactly anger. It's not an attempt to modify your behavior. It's an attempt to annihilate you. Yes. or at the very least subjugate you, at the very least.
Yes. Sam, what do you do? I guess we'll leave it with this. This is, I think, is the most common question we have gotten from our audience. As a non-narcissist, if you are forced to be in proximity with a narcissist, you either realize you are married to one or they are in your family and there's no getting away from them. You realize that there's a covert among you, agreed, the most malevolent, destructive, difficult to spot. How do you defend yourself?
Let's start with the fact that I've mentioned. You spot a narcissist within 3 to 30 seconds. 3 seconds, studies in Harvard, and so these are serious universities and serious studies. You spot them. Don't kid yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Don't say, I've been played. You know, the narcissist is such a great actor and I've been played. I discovered this months later. Not true. In all likelihood, you knew that something was wrong within seconds. And so this is the fact, the first fact. Second fact, the longer you're exposed to the narcissist, the more likely you are to develop narcissistic defenses and ultimately to resemble the narcissist very, very much. You're likely to become a narcissist. Narcissistic defenses involve, for example, a reduction in empathy, becoming much more aggressive or even violent, verbally abusive at least, and so on. So narcissism is contagious. It's infectious. Point number 3, narcissistic abuse is not like other types of abuse. It's not like being beaten, you know, which is bad, of course. Battering is bad, but it's not the same. It's not like being subject to financial abuse or legal abuse or I don't know, verbal abuse. It's not the same. All other forms of abuse limit themselves to an aspect of you, to some dimension of you, to some area of your life, to some particular group of friends, to your bank account, to your sexuality.
It's an annexed part of your life.
Yeah. It's I wouldn't say it's on the fringe, but it's limited. Other types of abuse are limited. Narcissistic abuse is unlimited. The main goal of narcissistic abuse is to eliminate you as an independent, agentic entity and to reproduce you as an internal artifact in the narcissist's mind. That is annihilation. That is eradication. That's not abuse. I think narcissistic abuse, the phrase that I coined, I'm beginning to regret it. I think I should have coined the phrase narcissistic eradication.
Never too late, Sam.
Yeah, never too late. Yeah, right. I'm young. So, you can tell the difference because with classical types of abuse, it's a touch and go. The abuser is there, then the abuser is not there, then the abuser, it's intermittent. It comes and goes. With narcissistic abuse, it's all pervasive. It's all consuming. There's no respite. There's no rest. There's no break. There's no pause. It's it. This is it. This has become your life, you know? And
well, as you said at the top of the show, it's a mind virus. Once it gets into your mind and that parasite takes hold of the host body, the narcissist could be away for a month. It doesn't matter. It's working on you.
It's very true. The clinical term is introjection. The narcissist insinuated himself into your mind, never to leave unless you take care of it via therapy and so on. But so when you feel that the abuse is this kind of abuse, that is taking over you, a hostile takeover, when you are losing your identity, we wake up in the morning and you say, that's not me. I don't feel the same.
Right.
I can't believe I've said that. I can't believe I've done that. I can't believe I've made this choice. If you can't believe, if you find yourself incredulous and incredible, and in the worst sense of the meaning of the word, then it's time to go because you are becoming him. You're becoming your narcissist. And that's a very dangerous process because it triggers in you very infantile, primordial, primitive defenses like splitting. It reduces your capacity to empathize. It takes away your sense of identity and core self. It renders you more automatic, more robotic. It makes you a schizoid. In other words, you begin to isolate yourself, self-isolation, forget the narcissist, and so on and so forth. These are detrimental and deleterious impacts that would take years to unravel in therapy and so on. The sooner you abdicate, the sooner you abandon ship, the better your prognosis later on.
Do you love olive oil? If so, have you ever tasted it farm fresh? If not, your first taste will be a revelation. Just born of earth and tree, farm fresh olive oil is bright, vivid, grassy. It's like a garden in a bottle, and it adds amazing flavor to all of your meals. Listen, if we insist on fresh milk and eggs, fresh meat and fish, fresh fruits and veggies, we should insist on fresh olive oil because in every case, freshness makes a huge difference in flavor and in nutrition. But you'll never find fresh olive oils in supermarkets where they can sit on the shelf for months or even years. Prove the difference to yourself with a free $39 bottle direct from an award-winning artisanal farm. Pay just $1 to help cover shipping, and your $39 bottle is free, courtesy of TJ Robinson, known worldwide as the olive oil hunter. TJ searches the world for the best tasting olive oil, and he ships it direct at peak farm fresh flavor and nutrition. Try your first bottle free with no obligation or commitment to buy anything. For your free $39 bottle, go to farmfresh222.com. That's farmfresh222.com, farmfresh222.com.